I'm Seth White, and this is my Module 5, Understanding My Community. For EDL 856, I am at Salina South High School. We are the Cougars. There, I had that picture there. No customs and traditions. In the Salina community, the arts and humanities, they play a big role in the town. They have the Salina Community Theater, which has multiple productions a year. They also have the Saline County Theater, which shows short documentaries, short films, a lot of them from local people that have created their own videos, things like that. And then also the Smoky Hill Museum, which is always having different things come in and allowing people to come in and look at all the different arts that go along with the community. Another thing that this community celebrates is the Smoky Hill River Festival, which is a time where they bring in different bands from the area. They also show off art projects from people that are artists in the area, and just kind of allows people to see and hear all the different arts that go on in this community. A majority of this community is going to be working class people, manufacturing, education, and health are the three main employers of this community. Most of the manufacturing is located in the south part of the town, which is where Salina South is located as well. When it relates to religion, there's 70 Christian churches in Salina, and there's also one Buddhist temple. Another thing that plays a huge role in the community is the sports. There's 3 semi-pro teams. The Salina Liberty is their indoor arena football team. They have the Salina Saints, which is their basketball team, and then the semi-pro baseball team is the Salina Stockade. They also have 3 golf courses and multiple different sports complexes that host baseball, softball, soccer. So they play a huge role when it comes to the youth here, and then even some of the younger adults. When it comes to change in Salina, some people, it's difficult for some, but for the most part, a lot of them are flexible and adapt very well. I find that more prevalent here in our with our education buildings. The bond that was just passed, I'll talk more about that. But with the bond that was just passed, all of the high schools and middle schools and elementary schools all have had renovations or brand new schools built for them. No population characteristics. The population of Salina is 47,840 people. 86.2% white, 10.7 Hispanic or Latino, 3.7 African American, 2.3 Asian, and 0.5 American Indian. It's pretty split for male and female. And the median age is 36.9. The economic median household is $44,710. The poverty level is at 17.7%, and the growth from 2014 is at 1.18%. Education, 88.8% have a high school diploma, 32.4% have some college or associate's degree, and then 23.1% have a bachelor's degree or higher. The 3 pictures that I kind of chose here were the main leading industries that I was talking about. We have Tony's Pizza, which hires a majority of the people that live on the south area of Salina, then also Salina Regional employs multiple people with all of their different branches that they have, and then obviously Salina Public Schools. Know the communication channels. A lot of people get their news from social media, Facebook, Twitter. We also have multiple radio stations, KSL 1150, 97.5 The Zoo, 99 KG, 95.5 The Rock, and 102.5 KBLS. They're always good about covering sports in this town and making sure that listeners are being able to hear their favorite teams. Access TV also covers our sports in town and some of our arts as well. They're all voluntary work there, so it's kind of a cool opportunity for Salina to have that accessibility. And then also the Salina Journal is the local newspaper. Many of the community members will get their information from social media, I know the schools have Twitter pages and Facebook pages, and then the Salina Journal is another way that they'll get their information. Know the community groups. Salina Area Chamber of Commerce. We have the Salina Community Theater, like I talked about, and the Arts Humanities. We also have the Salina South Booster Club, which is a group of parents that'll come together and they help raise money for kids to have food after games or before games or breakfasts the day before games. They do a really good job of just raising money and having those things for the kids and all the athletes at the school. The Salina Rotary Club does a good job of kind of getting jobs for maybe the kids that are right out of high school or even graduates from South or Central that have graduated college and moved back to this community. So they do a good job of that. And then we have the Salina Area United Way, and then Big Brothers Big Sisters. One of the huge cooperations that USD has, actually, USD 305 has, is that it teams up with Salina Tech in many of its college courses. Both kids will travel to Salina Tech, and then we also offer Salina Tech courses through just our regular staff as well. Knowing leadership. The huge influencers on the Salina community is obviously our mayor, city council as well, and then board office members, and the superintendent. The people that are going to be influenced obviously are going to be our citizens, our students, and then business owners. The picture that I kind of chose to put there, once again, was the bond issue that they passed back in 2014. I'll talk a little bit more about that here in a couple slides. Know the community leaders' characteristics. The two people, or I guess it would be three main ones that I chose were the superintendent and our two principals at Salina Central and Salina South High School principals. Just being flexible. Like I said, with the bond issue that was passed, all the schools are being renovated or being completely built brand new. So South is getting a brand new school, and then Central has gone through multiple renovations. And both principals have done a great job in being flexible, moving classrooms to sit in different places, making sure that schedules work for students. One of the biggest issues that we just had at the beginning of the school year, somehow we had a gas leak, and so we had to move all the students to our gym actually, and our principals did a great job of making sure that we could keep, I think we're at 1,000 students in the gym for 3 hours until we finally had to make the call where we had to cancel school. So just having that flexibility and be able to make quick decisions is key. Also being able to communicate with the community members. Our superintendent does a great job of that, and both our principals as well. You'll see them at sporting events. You'll see them at open houses. You'll see them at board office meetings, obviously. They do a good job of being out there and being able to be accessed. Knowing the economic conditions. The employment rate, like I was talking about before, manufacturing is a huge employment opportunity in Salina. The healthcare, again, and then retail trade at 12.3%, and then educational services at 9%. The unemployment currently is at 3.7%. The median property value for Salina is at $117,000, which is up $1,900 in the past year. And then just the future growth for the next 10 years is predicted to be at 38.20%. Salina, if you've been here lately, for those of you who are in Kansas, it's every other day we have a new building going up for either some sort of retail, or we have some sort of service going in, or some sort of food restaurant of some sort going in. So the growth here is moving up, that is for sure. Knowing the political structure, once again, like I was talking about, the bond issue that was passed. Salina voters, they approved $110.7 million bond issue on April 2014. The bond addressed district needs, including safety and security, which is hugely shown throughout our high schools and our elementary schools and middle schools, the fact of it being safe and secure for our students and creating that environment for them to learn. So having that ability to pass that big of a bond and be able to make our schools safe and better learning environments for our students was a huge deal. Knowing our social tensions, one thing that happened at Salina Central, which is the other school, I actually teach there one block during the day. I co-teach with another teacher, but they had a Black Lives Matter controversy there. They posted a article in their school newsletter that was very controversial, I guess, and brought up a lot of outside problems. So they did a good job, the principals, once again, being flexible and being able to deal with problems. Came up with an alternative, figured out what they needed to do for that situation, and they got things resolved. There isn't really any gang problems in Salina, but there is one huge problem with all the cliques. Like I said, teaching at both high schools, I noticed there's cliques, excuse me, in both of them when it comes to just the different sports, the different activities that people are in. These cliques have kind of been formed, and you don't really see much meshing in between the two. So I think one thing that would be good as an administrator later on is be able to kind of dissolve those cliques and be able to get these students to intertwine with each other and be able to talk amongst each other and not have to battle between these cliques. Extra sources of information, school board minutes. They're posted on the USD 305 website, and they're also in the newspaper. There's a school newsletter that both schools, or both high schools, send out monthly. City council meetings as well. The Salina Journal does a great job of getting out information, the city directory, and then also, once again, the Salina Chambers of Commerce and all the businesses that they deal with. Excuse me. Power structures. Many of the industry owners and a handful of others come together to make up a majority of the power in Salina. Like I said, those industries, the health and then also the manufacturing industries are a huge part. The chain of command, though, when it comes to our school district, is obviously the school board that we're going to have at the top, our superintendent, our principals, our assistant principals, and then our department chairs, and then the rest of our staff. No multicultural issues. There's a very little diversity in this community. Just based on the demographics, a majority of it is Hispanic students. So we actually have a newsletter that is available in Spanish, that if the parents ask to have it sent to them in Spanish, it can be sent to them in Spanish. And then we also have translators available if any teachers need to make calls to parents. Know the power structure. Students know that our administration's goal is to keep the school safe, a safe learning environment, and then keep the students honorable. And then make sure that everyone is giving their best effort to be successful. And I think just having that power of the administration, letting our students respect that, is creating a good environment for our school, even through all the things that we're going through with the construction right now. Measuring public opinion. Since there are only 2 high schools, you'll definitely notice there's different views on both of them. But either way, I enjoy teaching at both of the schools. But one thing that I think that we need to do is just get our parents more involved when it comes to this public opinion, because I think if the parents are more willing to get involved to help out at the schools, they would be able to see the things that the teachers, the administration, and the school board are doing for the children, and making their children more successful. And public opinion surveys, the only time that there really is any sort is during election times. The school, or the city and the school, don't send out surveys really any at all. But I do think, as an administrator, what I would do with just how this bond issue is such a big deal, I would make sure that I'm sending out maybe a quarterly survey asking if people feel like they're involved in the bond issue, if they feel like they're informed on what's happening, just giving them the opportunity to kind of voice their opinion a little bit more than what is given out there. Thank you for watching my slideshow.